Welcome to Podnutz Daily for December 30th, 2008, episode number 129. Here's an interesting story for you guys. I had a computer come in, and the computer would, what was it doing? Sometimes power off, or sometimes it would turn on, other times it wouldn't turn on. It always powered up, but when you press the power button in, sometimes it would boot and you'd get the BIOS. Sometimes it would just stay with a black screen, no hard drive activity, no video. So it wasn't, and there was no rhyme or reason to it. We replaced the RAM, we replaced the processor, we checked it with different power supply, and every part we basically replaced except the motherboard. So we narrowed it down to the motherboard. Anyway, we called the customer, because it turns out this was the customer's mother's computer. We called the customer and we told him, look, you got a bad motherboard. And he was kind of shocked, and in a way that was really a little bit odd. And I said, yeah, it's the motherboard. And he's like, how much are we talking? I'm like, $199. We can replace the motherboard and get everything set up for you. So he agreed to that. And he's like, the reason I was taken aback a little bit was, it was his mother's computer. His mother actually passed away. The day his mother passed away is when the computer stopped working. So he felt it was pretty shocking that I told him the motherboard died the same day his actual mother died. Little grim, but freaky nonetheless. And now I'm afraid to work on that computer. I get a chill every time I see the thing. Anyway, interesting story, isn't it? Motherboard died the same day that the mother died. It was the mother's computer. Weird. Yes. Okay. Enough of that grim stuff. I'm going to read an email here because yesterday we were stuck with trying to remove this particular piece of nasty spyware that wouldn't go away. And somebody had sent me an email on it. I'll read his email and then I'll read what we did. And this is an email from Johnny. This is Foobar Johnny from the chat. And Johnny says, hey Steve, this is Foobar Johnny from the chat rooms and forums. I had mentioned to you a few weeks ago. No, this is not from Johnny. I'll read Johnny's email later. This is from Mitch in Iowa. Mitch Vaughn. Hey, Steve, I just listened to your December 29th show. Funny thing, I just seen that Spyware Guard 2008. This is the problem we were having. Spyware Guard 2008 in the shop earlier today. I tried the whole name change thing with malwarebytes and had no luck. What he's talking about is sometimes spyware stops malwarebytes from loading unless you actually change the file name. And so let me continue reading. And he says, after I ran it safe without networking, it ran and found like 100 infections, but still didn't clean up the program. After that scan, I was able to get the updates in safe mode, though, and scanned again and found like 55 infections, but the program was still there. So I used spybot after that, and it pulled the program off of the system. We sell Bitdefender at our shop, and I installed that and started running a deep scan on the system before I left. It already picked up 60 more infections in about 20 minutes. Can't wait to see what it finds tomorrow. This one is one nasty infection. Good luck, and thanks for all the help so far with the tech stuff. It helps me out in my shop. It makes me feel smarter sometimes. Thanks, Mitch. I think that was Mitch from Iowa. Oh, yeah, there's Mitch from Iowa. Okay, so that was from Mitch from Iowa. The program he's talking about is, where is it? Spyware Guard 2008, giving us a lot of problems in the shop. We tried installing Spybot on this computer, but the infection is causing this machine not to allow us to install almost anything. Spybot installed except for the exe file. We couldn't even run it. Every other file is installed except for the exe file. Same thing with malwarebytes. The exe files aren't loading. We ran Smith Fraud Fix. We ran Dial-A-Fix, CCleaner to clean some temp files up. We ran malwarebytes. Did we run malwarebytes? I think we finally got it running somehow. And like Mitch said, it didn't remove it. So since we couldn't even, when we tried installing Spybot, since we couldn't even install Spybot, what we ended up doing was running Spybot from the Ultimate Boot CD. You could do that. You could also get updates. After you load the Ultimate Boot CD, you can get the Spybot updates and run it from the Ultimate Boot CD. It takes a long time, but it does run. I don't know if it removes Spyware Guard 2008. We're going to find out tomorrow. If it doesn't, we're just probably going to go on bleepingcomputer.com or something just to see if there's a manual fix for doing that. Thanks for the email, Mitch. And that's a story on Spyware Guard 2008. That's the only spyware I've encountered recently that has eluded malwarebytes. So had a Dell projector come in. Projector like a projector where you can plug your monitor up to it and project the monitor onto a screen rather than having it like on a TV or a monitor itself. So projector came in. Somebody had dropped the projector off of the stand. It hit the floor from about, I guess, 3 to 6 feet. And now the problem with the projector was it would run for a while and then freeze right in the middle of whatever it's doing. The strange thing about the projector freezing is when it froze like a computer freezes. It keeps the same picture up on the screen. It doesn't just go out. It doesn't turn black. The bulb doesn't burn out or go out or turn off. Or just the same. It just freezes. It's the same picture you're trying to show on the screen just gets stuck up there, similar to how Windows would act if there was a hardware problem or a software problem, and the mouse just freezes up on you. So I found that kind of odd, which made me think that the fix might not be hardware. It might be something in a setting that the system actually has. I'll tell you why I think that, because I took the whole thing apart. First of all, took every circuit board, made sure all the connectors were connected, made sure nothing was blown, nothing was burnt. Took a lot of compressed air from the can and blew out over a lot of the boards. Make sure there wasn't any when it hits the ground. I wanted to make sure no foreign matter got into the circuit board and is causing a short. Once I put it back together, though, and I actually didn't find anything that stood out to me. Once I put it back together, it was still doing the same thing where it froze. Well, so after that, what I did is I turned on the projector, restored the projector back to factory settings, and that seemed to clear up the problem. So if it would have been a thing where you turn the projector on and after 10 minutes it just turns off, that would be hardware to me. But in this case, it was freezing. It was freezing on the picture that it was trying to show, which is strange to me for a projector to do that. So I thought it might be software or firmware. Restored it to factory settings and cleared up the problem. We did a job for a customer. We cleaned up their computer real nice on a desktop. I think it was a Dell desktop, Dell Dimension. They're running Verizon Internet Security Suite. I've had problems before with Verizon Internet Security Suite, just getting too scrambled and causing a computer to crash. In this case, after the customer took it home, as soon as Verizon tried to update the Internet Security Suite, the computer just blue screened. It wouldn't even boot after that point. So what we did was we brought it back in, did a system restore back to the point before it tried to update Internet Security Suite. Everything was fine after that. Then sold her a copy of Norton Antivirus 2009, took Verizon Internet Security Suite off, ran great after that. So that was that. Had another computer, a Dell Inspiron laptop. We did a job on this computer. Everything was working fine at the